Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do GST, the remaining questions. This video is for 10th standard ISC students, ICSE students. In this video, I particularly want to clear the set off and carry forward concept of GST for 10th standard. All right. Um, I'll share the link of the previous GST video in the description box. So do watch that and then continue this. So you'll have a clear understanding of what is GST is. Today I'm going to do the questions from ML Agarwal. In the previous video I've covered questions from 2 to 6 of ML Agarwal. Today I'm going to continue from 7. Now let's get started with the concept. Chapter GST, Class 10 ICSE. Set off and carry forward of GST. Set off and carry forward of GST. So that means, see, usually major part of the questions that we see is either there is an interstate sale and purchase or intrastate sales and purchase. Hope you know the difference between intra and inter. Intra means the buyer and the seller lives in the same state. Intra means the buyer and the seller live in the same state, whereas inter means the buyer and the seller live in different state. All right. Now, so far the questions were basically on intrastate sale of goods and purchases, intra-sale of goods and services. So both buyer and the seller, from wholesaler to the retailer and then retailer to the consumer, all three parties lived in the same place. Shopkeeper bought it from the wholesaler, then shopkeeper sold it to the consumer. So all three parties lived in the same state. So that wasn't an issue. Okay. So where the buyer, seller all live in the same state. So that's the case 1. Case 3. Now the type 2 models where the buyer and the seller at different transaction level live in different place. For example, the buyer, the shopkeeper, let's take an example of wholesaler, retailer, consumer. The wholesaler is in Chennai. The retailer is in Trivandrum. And the consumer is in Goa. Okay, Chennai, Trivandrum, and Goa. Or let's take it as some other state, Uttar Pradesh. All right. So Chennai, Trivandrum, and UP. All right, Chennai. Now here, the transaction between the wholesaler and retailer is an interstate sale of goods and services. Therefore, at both places, the IGST is generated. Isn't it? The GST is IGCST, which goes to the central government. Similarly, when the retailer sells it to the consumer who is in UP, there also interstate is happening. Therefore, IGCST is generated. So therefore, here also there is no problem at all when it comes to the adjustment, because we use output GST minus input GST. Okay, when the buyer and the seller at any level of chain live in the same place, then the problem is simple, because it is either inter or intra. But what happens, so what I discussed just now is the second case. Now what happens when the buyer is or the seller, assume the shopkeeper buys it from the manufacturer who's in a different state. So transaction between the manufacturer and the shopkeeper is an interstate sale, whereas transaction between the shopkeeper and the consumer is intra. So transaction between the wholesaler and the shopkeeper is inter, and then shopkeeper to consumer is intra. So that means the wholesaler and the shopkeeper lives at different state. Shopkeeper and the consumer live in the same state. Now this is where the set off and carry forward concept of GST known to be understood. but we don't have to deal with it in deep as the account students will be studying. Our knowledge will be very limited with regard to only this set off. So we don't need to go deep into this concept. Okay, so I'm going to take some question from the same book, explain you the set of process, and then I'm going to do the remaining sums of M.L. Agarwal. All right. Okay, so here is a very good example to understand this concept. A shopkeeper in Rajasthan buys an article at a printed price of 40,000 from a wholesaler in Delhi. So the shopkeeper is in Rajasthan, the wholesaler is in Delhi. So the purchase and sale generated here is it's between state to state. So it's an interstate. All right. The shopkeeper sells the article to the consumer in Rajasthan. So the transaction between the shopkeeper and the consumer happens within the state of Rajasthan. Therefore, here it is intra-state sale. Alright, so the first transaction is between the shopkeeper and the wholesaler. Both of them live in different places. Therefore, it is called as an interstate sale of purchase. Hence, IGCST is generated. Whereas the second transaction between the shopkeeper and the consumer, both of them live in the same place. So it's an intrastate. The GST is the CGST and SGCST here. All right. Now, before getting into the rest of the part of the question, let us understand how to set off the IGCST with the other taxes. All right. Setting off GST. GST, if it is an input IGCST, input CGST, input SGCST. Now, what happens when do we get input? Input is when we purchase, isn't it? So, going with the sum which I just explained, the shopkeeper buys from the wholesaler, right? So, shopkeeper at the time of purchase will pay tax. So, which will be the input GST for the shopkeeper. But since the shopkeeper and the wholesaler live in different places, different cities, it is IGCST, isn't it? So the tax that the shopkeeper pays to the wholesaler is called as an input IGCST. Okay, so input, and output is nothing but the tax collected when it is sold. So input is otherwise called as GST on purchase, output is otherwise called as GST on sales. Okay, so here it is input IGCST. So if it is an input IGCST, the order of set off is this way. First, set off against the input IGCST. So if there is an output IGCST, I beg your pardon, output IGCST. If there is an input IGCST, set off against the output IGCST. If there is an input IGCST and if there is no output IGCST, then set off against the output CGST. If there is no output IGCST and if it is being set off against CGST but still there is some amount left, then set it off against SGST. SGST. Alright, so the setting off must be in this order. So if there is an input IGCST, if there is an output IGCST, first this amount should be set off against this amount. If this is not there, then you set it off against these two. Alright, and that too, first preference is to CGST and then to SGST. Alright. Now, if there is an input CGST, the first it is set off against the output CGST, then put to output IGCST. And if there is an input SGCST, it is first set off against the output SGCST and then to output IGCST. Remember one thing, input means on purchase, output means on sales. So a party will buy at the time he pay tax and the same party sells, so at that time he collects tax. So he pays tax and he collects tax. So the GST that he remits to the government will be the output minus input, right? So if it is the same type of tax, like if it is IGCST and IGCST on same cases, it's not a problem for us. We can directly subtract and do it. But the problem arises when one is IGCST and another one is CGST and SGST. That is where we have to be really careful against this. What I see in your syllabus is only this kind of question, not these ones. So you can just have a knowledge of this. Don't go deep into this part of it. The input CGST adjusting this part of it, but give more importance to this part of it, which means give more preference to this part of it. Okay, so if there is an input IGCST, the order of set off is first preference to input IGCST. If there is any balance left, go to CGST, then to SGCST. Okay, clear? Now let's take that question. Let's do that sum. You will understand now. Once again, let me give a reading to the question. A shopkeeper in Rajasthan buys an article at a printed price of 40,000 from a wholesaler in Delhi. So shopkeeper living in Rajasthan, wholesaler living in Delhi. So the sale and purchase here is interstate sale of purchase. Therefore, the GST will be IGCST. The shopkeeper buys at a printed price of 40,000. The shopkeeper then sells it to the consumer in Rajasthan at a price 25% above the cost. So the shopkeeper and the consumer is in the same place, and the shopkeeper is going to sell the product to the consumer at 25% above the cost. The rate of GST at every chain is 18%. They have given us few questions to answer. Before answering the question, let's do the calculation for the shopkeeper, for the wholesaler, and for the consumer. Here I'm ready with the columns. Wholesaler lives in Delhi, shopkeeper lives in Rajasthan, consumer lives in Rajasthan. Okay, now the wholesaler sells the goods to the shopkeeper at a printed price of 40,000. So selling price in the hands of the shopkeeper is 40,000, which is the cost price for the selling price in the hands of the wholesaler is 40,000, which is the cost price for the shopkeeper. Now input tax, because the wholesaler is selling. So when the wholesaler is selling, the wholesaler collects tax. Isn't it GST on sales, which is the output tax for the wholesaler and input tax for the shopkeeper. So I'm just simply writing this as IGCST 40,000 into 18%, which works out to rupees 7,200. Now, this is the tax paid by the shopkeeper to the wholesaler. All right. Now, this will be the input tax for the shopkeeper. So, input IGCST for the shopkeeper is rupees 7,200. Now, the shopkeeper raises the price of the goods 25% above the cost. So selling price in the hands of the shopkeeper is 40,000 into 125 by 100. If you want, you can do this as 40,000 plus 40,000 into 25 by 100. But I'm doing 40,000 into 125 by 100 right away. So this way I get the selling price as 50,000 rupees. Now output, but here the shopkeeper sells it to the consumer or the customer, and both of them live in the same place. So here it will be CGST and SGST. Okay, so output CGST will be 50,000 into 9%, which is 4,500, and SGCST will also be the same figure, 4,500, total 9,000 rupees. Now, how much is the consumer paying in order to acquire the article? the consumer will pay the selling price of 40,000 plus the tax, isn't it? So the selling price, which is 50,000, and the tax of 99,000. So the selling price plus tax 59,000 rupees is the price paid by the consumer, including tax, in order to acquire the article. So now we are done with the calculation. Okay. Now here, input IGCST for the wholesaler is 7,200. And who will collect the 7,200? Or wholesaler will pay to whom? Will wholesaler pay to Delhi government? No. Wholesaler will not be paying it to the Delhi government. Though he lives in Delhi, the sale is happening. The sale is an interstate, between state to state. So the tax will go to the central government. Okay, not to the state government or to the union territory government. So this 7,200 rupees will directly go to the central government. So state government will not receive any tax on this transaction. I mean the UT government. Now, shopkeeper. The shopkeeper's input is 7,200. Now, what is input meaning? The shopkeeper paid 7,200 for acquiring this product for 40,000 rupees, right? And at the time of selling it to the consumers, he is collecting 9,000 rupees tax. Now, out of 9,000, 4,500 is central CGST and 4,500 is state GST. I told you the order of set off. Input IGCST should be first set off against output IGCST and then to output CGST, central GST, and then to output state GST. So here input, so I'm writing that once again. Input IGCST should be set off first against IGST and then to output CGST and then put to output state GST. Okay. Now here this is not there. In this question there is no output IGCST because output will come only when the consumer is living in a different place, but the consumer is also living in Rajasthan. Hence the second transaction is within the state. Therefore output IGCST will not come. So this amount of 7,200 will be first adjusted towards the 4,500 and the remaining will be adjusted to the SGST figure, state GST figure. So first this 7,200 rupees is set off against this 4,500. So that means I'm going to utilize 4,500 rupees from the 7,200. So that means I'm utilizing 4,500 rupees from 7,200. So nil central GST. So after I take 4,500 from 7,200, remaining is 2,700. This one I'll adjust from the state GST. So what is state GST? 4,500 and I'll adjust 2,700. The remaining amount will be what the state government of Rajasthan will receive. Okay, so that is 1,800 rupees. Now we are done with the set off and all the calculations. Now let's start answering the question what is being asked. Okay. The first question was the price. Hope you all have noted down the question. The first part of the question is the price of the article inclusive of tax at which the shopkeeper bought the article. So at what price the shopkeeper has bought the article? The shopkeeper bought the article by paying 40,000 and a tax of 7,200. So for the subdivision number 1, the shopkeeper bought the article from the wholesaler for a price of 40,000 and a tax of 7,200. So total amount paid will be 47,200 rupees. This is the answer for the subdivision number 1. Coming to subdivision number 2, the amount of tax paid by the shopkeeper to the government. So what tax the shopkeeper? Shopkeeper is paying to the government. But which government? Are they telling us to the state, or are they asking us for the central government? Well, they just said government. So that means it could be for any government, right? So the amount of tax that he pays to the government will be only 1,800 rupees. That too only to the state government, which means the Rajasthan government. So the shopkeeper pays nil to central government and 1,800 rupees to the state government of Rajasthan. Clear? Now, the case 3 of the question is the amount of tax received by the Delhi government. Well, the Delhi government is in the picture when it is between the wholesaler and the shopkeeper, right? The wholesaler was living in Delhi. Now, will the Delhi government receive anything? No, because the sale was interstate. Therefore, all this tax of 7,200 will go to the central government only. So, Delhi government will not receive even a single penny. So, nil tax to Delhi government. Nil tax to Delhi government. Now, case 4. The amount which the customer pays for the article. How much have the customer paid? Well, we are already ready with the figure, isn't it? Look at this, 59,000. This is the amount the consumer or the customer will pay in order to acquire the product. Hope the picture is clear to you all. This is a very, very important sum. Do not restrict yourself only to the subdivisions. Be ready to answer whatever they ask. Understand one thing, if it's an input IGCST, it should be first set off against output IGCST. And if output IGCST is not there, then the next preference should be given to central GST. And if after setting off central GST, if there is any amount left, it will be taken to the state GST. So now I'm going to do question number 10. This is from the exercise M.L. Agarwal. A shopkeeper in Delhi buys an article at a printed price of 24,000 from a wholesaler in Mumbai. So this is very much similar to the example that I just discussed. The shopkeeper is living in Delhi, the wholesaler is in Mumbai. The shopkeeper in turn sells the article to the consumer who also lives in Delhi. So shopkeeper Delhi, consumer Delhi, the wholesaler is in Mumbai. The rate of GST is 12%. The shopkeeper sells the article to the consumer at 15% above the cost. Now, here also the same problem arises. The first transaction is IGCST. The second transaction is central and state GST. Let's start the workings for this question now. Question number 10. There is a wholesaler. There is a shopkeeper who's in Delhi, and there is a consumer or the customer who's also in Delhi. Let's see where the shopkeeper, Mumbai. All right, he's in Mumbai. Now, as it said in the question, the shopkeeper buys the article from the wholesaler at a printed price of 24,000. So, selling price in the hands of the shopkeeper is 24,000. Tax generated IGCST is 24,000 into 12%, which is 2,880 rupees. Okay, so the amount collected by the wholesaler from the shopkeeper, amount collected including tax, inclusive of tax, is 24,000 plus 2,880, which is 26,880 rupees. Now the wholesaler picture is over. Let's go to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper cost price is the wholesaler selling price. The tax collected by the wholesaler is the tax paid by the shopkeeper, or tax on purchases, or otherwise input IGCST, is 2,088. Now the shopkeeper sells the article by keeping a profit 15% above the cost. So 24,000 into 115 by 100, which works out to 27,600 rupees. Now here output will come, right? But output is central and state GST, which is 27,600 into 6%, because overall it's 12%. So 6 and 6. This amount is equal to 1656. So this totals to 3312, 3,112 rupees. Okay. Now the amount collected by the shopkeeper, or in turn the amount paid by the customer, inclusive of taxes, selling price plus the tax amount. Selling price is 27,600, tax is 3,312, so overall amount will be 30,912. Now let's get into the set of GST paid by the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper paid input 2,880 and output so and so. We know that input IGST will be first set off against output IGST, then to output CGST, then to output SGST. As again here there is no output IGST, so this is not there. So we will set off this amount of 2,800 first towards the output central GST, which is 1650. So first this 1650 is settled off, so nil. So from 2,880 I took 1656 to set off this amount. Remaining left out is 1224 rupees. So out of 2280, 1650 is used to set off this. The remaining amount left over is 1224, which is used to set off the SGST figure of 1656. So remaining state GST that the shopkeeper have to pay to the Delhi government, that is the state government, Union Territory government, is 432. Well, actually we should not call this as state GST. It should be called as a UT GST, because Delhi is a union government. So it should be called as a UT GST, Union Territory Government. But since you are in 10th standard, I think that will be too much for you to handle. So I'm just keeping it as simple as possible. Okay, 432 rupees. Now let's start answering the question as it's asked. Okay. The first question is the amount the amount inclusive of tax at which the shopkeeper bought the article. I'm sure the question is wrong. It is not the shopkeeper. It's not the wholesaler. It is the shopkeeper, because we have no idea about what price the shopkeeper has paid to acquire the product. The story starts from the point where the shopkeeper buys it from the wholesaler. So we have no idea at what price. The wholesaler bought this article. We only know at what point the shopkeeper bought the article. Alright. So the question should be the price inclusive of tax at which the shopkeeper bought the article. Well, the shopkeeper bought the article at 26,880 rupees. This is the amount collected by the wholesaler, which is in turn the amount paid by the shopkeeper, including tax. Second part of the question is the amount at which the consumer pays for the article. We are also ready with this figure. The consumer pays this much amount, 30,912. Now coming to the third part, the amount of tax received by the state government of Delhi. Okay, the Delhi government is the government where the shopkeeper lives, isn't it? And the consumer. So here the Delhi government will receive 432 rupees. The Delhi government will receive 432 rupees. Now, the amount of tax received by the central government. Well, the central government received 2,880 first, right? And now, yeah, that's it, only 2,880, because he's not getting anything here, right? 2,880 rupees. Question number 4 answer is what the central government received. The central government received only 2,880. Well, I'm done with this question. These are two unique models from the GST chapter for ICSE 10 standard. Please do this once again in order to understand the concept better. Hope you like my video. Thank you.